Hey guys, Flyann here, and I know we're all hyped about the Xenoblade 3 announcement. It's been years since the last game and we were due. So in this video, I'll be going through this trailer frame by frame, dissecting and discussing the things I see, putting in possible theories, comments on new designs, etc, etc. So let's get right into it.
Fighting in order to live, and living to fight.
Off the bat, we can see our main protagonist, whose name is Noah, according to the official site, and he's one of our two protagonists. You can see him here beautifully playing the flute. Perhaps he's a big fan of Pokemon Legends Arceus. Here is the official artwork for him. I gotta say, right off the bat, he looks incredible. Visually, one of my favorite protags from the series so far, and a bit different than the kind of more shonen type vibe of the other protags in Xenoblade 1 and 2. And according to the website, he is an off-seer. Not sure what that means just yet, but the website kind of alludes to them being sort of an empath? Important thing to note is that Noah is part of the Keeves, which are warring with the Agnes. The Keeves are a nation where mechanical technology was developed. Their armies are composed of units consisting mainly of combat vehicles. They use units of small mobile weapons operated by soldiers riding them.
That's the way of our world. Ionios.
So over here, Noah is talking about their way of life, and we can see this super cool looking mech in the back, which seems very similar to something we'd see as Mechan in Xenoblade 1. This one in particular looks very similar to Metalface. So Ionios is the name of their world, which kind of sounds like Bionis mixed with something else here.
Tell me!
And here we see a very nice shot of the new Monado. This design looks fantastic. In his official art, it seems to look more like a sheathed katana. Yeah, looks sick.
What would possess you to side with them?
Here is our second protagonist, and I know a lot of you at first thought this was Nia, but according to the official site, this is Mio. She is also another off-seer type. She has a crystal on her chest very similar to Nia's. Maybe off-seers are blades who fight individually? Or does it only refer to people who mourn dead soldiers on the battlefield? Maybe a blade eater? Not sure yet. Perhaps she's some sort of clone or variation of Nia put through some portal. It's hard to say for now. But we can at least confirm it is not Nia. However, she may show up later on in this trailer. Mio is part of the Agnes, who oppose the Keeves mentioned earlier. Agnes are a nation strong in ether and magical technology. Their forces are built around units that specialize in ether combat, and they fight with small, mobile, autonomous weapons that use ether technology.
We're fighting because there are enemies to kill!
So they seem to be in a bit of a kerfuffle at the start. The Keeves versus the Agnes, and it seems Mio chose Agnes instead of the Keeves, and that causes some conflict here with Noah.
I refuse to believe you're him!
And now we're introduced to new Garbulio, now with extra shield, aka Lans, who is an ally to Noah. He says, "I refuse to believe you're him." I'm assuming towards Noah, which means Noah can either have a true identity, perhaps he's a past protagonist of the Xenoblade series, or he's some proverbial chosen one that is destined to lead.
I knew it! I saw this coming!
He seems to be attacked by Senna, who is part of Agnes. It's also worth mentioning that she too has something like a core crystal embedded into her chest. Also, I love the design of her hammer.
You're not enemies now.
Now you may recognize this voice. It is Van Damme from Xenoblade 2, and he looks a lot like him as well, but not quite the same. I think it's safe to say that's our lad Van Damme though. It's good to have him back. If you listen quite closely to the trailer, you may recognize some voice actors from previous games. However, without seeing them credited yet, it's still speculation for the most part.
Fine for you, isn't it? All that time you've got.
You could try to move forwards again.
How can our lives be so snuffing little do you?
Now we're introduced to a new character, Uni, who is a childhood friend of Noah's.
They're not your friends anymore. They're his fuel.
And this is Flyann. Teon. He seems to use a very cool paper bird ability and fights alongside Mio. Cool to see, would love to learn more about this character. And now we get our first glimpse of the environments shown in this trailer. Let's take a look at all of them first and then analyze them afterwards.
Sword March. The land pierced by a great sword. It's the only way you're gonna defeat the real enemy.
So this shot in particular, it seems like Noah is running on some parts we've seen in the Fallen Arm in Xenoblade 1. Speculation though. Also, it seems like the corpse of Uriah is in the distance. Perhaps this is linked to seeing Vandam again within this game? Vandam mentions here that it's a land pierced by a great sword. Now we know why it's called the Xenoblade. It seems to be the Mechanish sword / Sword Valley buried into the ground, something iconic about Xenoblade 1 to parallel the iconic Uriah from Xenoblade 2. This particular shot is very interesting to me. It seems a lot like Oblivia from Xenoblade X, with trees that resemble the ones you'd see on the Torna Titan. A very interesting mix, and it seems like they're taking elements from all 3 games. This is just an absolutely cool looking mechan. Does it move around? We'll be able to ride it? God damn! All these mechan-like machines look so damn cool, although I'm not sure exactly what they are. In this shot, it seems to be set in the sky high above, or perhaps a different version of the Cloud Sea? Either way, I always love riding ropes like this, so that'll be fun. You got something that looks like Machna Forest here. These enemies in general just look really cool. They're definitely upping their designs. And oh my god, boat ride?
Whatever life is lost, I won't let you shoulder it all alone.
What good filling up these flickering clocks in our eyes?
So these Nopon look very interesting. These are by far the most anime-looking Nopon I've ever seen. I'm not sure if I like these designs compared to the other Nopons, but I'll make up my mind once I see them all.
It'll never replace the friends we've lost.
The flame clock, it has to go!
Hearing Mio's voice here, it sounds so similar to Nia's, but not quite. Perhaps an intentional choice.
Ouroboros abhor this world. They must be erased without a trace.
Here we see where the 2 games collide. A very hype moment from the trailer. This looks quite similar to Melia from Xenoblade 1 wearing a familiar mask, and she looks very similar to Nia in her blade form from Xenoblade 2. I'm gonna assume that it is Melia Nia, but we can't be 100% sure just yet. Their significance in this game obviously is yet to be determined, but it's really cool seeing them have a return. I'm sure the fans are rejoicing. And we have the end of the trailer and the title card here. Looks beautiful, using the same cover scheme as 1 and 2, and we see the marriage between the 2 logos as well as the background, where we see the corpse of Uriah and the fallen Mechanish sword that we mentioned earlier. We get to play this bad boy in September. It seems to be set to September 22nd, as long as there are no delays. So let's get into my overall thoughts and theories into this game. We've seen many references to all of the previous Xenoblade games, mostly 1 and 2, scattered throughout this trailer. My theory is that it is a product of the 2 endings of the game. A lot of merges and dimensional portals are involved, deaths of gods and creators, birthing of new worlds. A lot of this happens in Xenoblade 1 and 2 and even feature connected. It seems to be a realm where everything from the previous games collide and create this new world where we traverse. We know that the Keeves and Agnes are warring, and it seems that each side represents one of the 2 Xenoblade games. Will this be the end of the Xenoblade Chronicles series? Possibly, but who knows? Maybe they keep it going. It's very interesting to try to piece together how the elements of Xenoblade 1 and 2 involve themselves within this game, and it's something that we're going to understand better as we see more about this game and inevitably play through it. But theorizing is always the fun part. Speaking of crazy theories, I'm going to throw one out real quick. The protagonist's name is Noah. We all know the biblical story of Noah's Ark, where he took 2 of each animal into a vessel to survive the flood. Perhaps this is connected with the 2 Xenoblade games merged into perhaps a new vessel for a new world or voyage? A big boat ride, perhaps? Okay, maybe I'm going a little crazy. Overall, the visuals for this game seems incredible. The environments and mech designs are top-notch as always, and I generally enjoy this more mature approach to Xenoblade aesthetically. I love Xenoblade 2, but I have my gripes with how bold their design choices were for a lot of characters in that game, and something like this will definitely be taken more seriously in regards to new folks getting into the series, in my opinion. Xenoblade 2 was pretty newcomer friendly. For the most part, you could play through the game without playing the first one, but I feel like that might not be the case for Xenoblade 3 since there's so many references to the series, but we'll see. Overall, I'm just excited for everything about this game. Now, I'm sure there are things I've missed in this video that the more versed in Xenoblade individuals can point out. So if there's a theory you have, or if there was something I overlooked, please let me know in the comments. This video came out about a day after the announcement trailer. You know how us content creators are, so I'm sure there's a couple things I've missed or haven't mentioned. I hope that my analysis gives you something to chew on and at least gives you a better idea of the characters and environment in Xenoblade 3. If you guys want to see more Xenoblade content, please feel free to subscribe and follow my Twitch channel, where I'll be playing some Xenoblade in anticipation of this release, as well as the game itself on launch. But anyways, take care, y'all, and I'll see you very soon.